Why do all minimalist videos start on the floor?
So I don't consider myself a minimalist, but I think that because of a combination of me just getting a bit older, I'm now 28, and also moving to Australia, I've found that my priorities have changed a bit as to what I want to purchase and also what brings me value in my life. I've just found myself more content with what I have now, and I've just stopped wanting certain things. But this isn't just a list of things that I stopped buying. This is a list of things that I've just stopped wanting to buy at all. And the key thing here for me is that I just don't feel deprived when I don't have the newest or more versions of these things. Thing number one, smartphones. Even before I changed to my flip phone a few weeks ago, I've been running with an iPhone 8 Plus for just around a year now. Before that, I was using a Pixel 2 XL as my daily driver up until around 2019, before it fell out of my bike and got run over by several cars, RIP. And I've just found that maybe it's just the phones of today, but an iPhone 8 Plus, even though it's several generations old, functions perfectly fine for me. It does everything that I want it to do. The thing I definitely appreciate about Apple products, and I've been an Android user for most of my smartphone existence, is their longevity. This phone performs much better than a Samsung phone from the same era. I know because I use an S8 as a bit of a transitionary phone between my Pixel 2 XL and this phone performs much better. So I'm hoping I'm able to get 1 to 2 more years out of this phone. It's really showing no signs of slowing down, and I don't really feel the need to switch at all. Number 2, computers and peripherals. I grew up to be a gamer, much like many people in my age group. And I used to be a very heavy PC gamer. I spent thousands of hours playing Dota, and I also played Overwatch extensively during its first release in, I think it was around 2016. I even built my first gaming PC around the time of Overwatch's release. I spent over $1,000 on that PC. But I found that as I've gotten a bit older, the games that I wanted to play don't necessarily need cutting edge specs. I mean, the last game I've put in a lot of hours on is Diablo 2, which I could play on a potato at the moment. And I found myself playing a lot more on my consoles, which are the Nintendo Switch and the PS4. I think that's the trap that many fall into, which is to just keep upgrading their PC specs, whether it be a new graphics card or a new processor, just to keep up with the latest AAA titles, making sure you're able to play them on Ultra. Whereas my priorities when it comes to gaming aren't necessarily the graphics, but just the overall playability. If it runs, it runs. And I'm happy that on the console side of things, that's the advantage of having a console, is you don't need to keep upgrading your specs. I still have my PS4. I'm just starting to play Red Dead Redemption 2 right now. And I still have a pretty big backlog of games that I'm going to need to play before I even think about upgrading, say, even to the PS5. That PC I was talking about, which I bought back in 2016, I actually haven't opened it since we moved into our new apartment around March of last year. So that's 11 months where I haven't opened my PC. And I do have a secondary gaming laptop, quote unquote, because it's not really a gaming laptop anymore. It was probably fine in 2016 to play games on low settings, but now I just use it to play Diablo 2, and I'm pretty happy with it. For my peripherals, alongside my gaming PC, I also bought a Razer Black Widow Tournament Edition and a Razer Death Adder, and yeah, those were pretty expensive. I haven't been using them a lot because I just prefer the convenience of wireless technology for my everyday use. I'm not really much of an FPS fast twitch type of gamer, so I don't really worry about input lag that much, and I value more the cleanliness and the portability rather than the actual specs of it right now. Again, priorities changing. Number 3, clothes. So this is definitely where I've probably had the most evolution. Coming into college, I had a really bad fashion sense. I used to wear very poofy cargo shorts with flip-flops all the time to school. During the latter years of college and heading into my first job, I actually developed a much better fashion sense. Luckily, I didn't really have money to actually splurge on them, but I definitely was into just trying to dress better. I knew all of the different terminologies on the difference, say, between an Oxford shoe and a derby, or what an OCBD is. And that translated to me just dressing a bit more fancy at work. Like, I was the type of guy, I don't know why, but I would wear a blazer to work even though my workplace was a t-shirt and jeans type of workplace. Once I moved to Australia, and it might have been a mix of just how casual people are here, plus me just not worrying too much about what people think, I've just dressed a lot more casually now. I am privileged enough that I work in tech startups where you aren't expected to dress corporate at all. As long as you show up to work and you do a good job, you can wear whatever you want. So this is actually mostly what I wear in my job. I just wear a gray or a black t-shirt, shorts when it's summer, jeans when it's winter, and some sneakers, and that's it. I found myself just recently buying a lot of cheaper t-shirts, grays, blacks. This type of t-shirt, which I just bought from Kmart, will last me up to 2 years or so. They're only like $3 to $4 each. Number 4, and I think this deserves its own category, is shoes. Now, the reason I say that is because I became a bit of a shoe addict when I first came out of school and when I first started earning money. I would usually buy around 2 pairs of shoes a year. And for some people that might be normal, but for me, it's definitely quite excessive. I saw my shoe collection really start to pile up, and it would really frustrate my partner because she was like, "You have more shoes than me, and I have no more closet space," which is definitely true. The interesting thing is when I actually look at the shoes that I just sort of leave outside by our doorway, I only really use 3 pairs of shoes. One is my casual slip-on boat shoes, which I've had since around 2009. I've had it resold in the Philippines for around 200 pesos or like $6, and I think it'll just last forever. It's really comfortable now. It's really molded to my feet. I have no desire to wear any other type of slip-on shoe. The second pair of shoes I use a lot, my white sneakers from Muji. I think I got this for around $35 when it was on sale. These shoes are pretty indestructible. I've had them for over a year now. I like the sort of dirty, worn-in white sneaker look, but they can withstand getting put in the laundry just fine. I've worn this around Europe where we were walking 20 to 30,000 steps a day, and these shoes are just super comfortable. I highly recommend these. I might make a separate video about them. And my third pair of shoes are just my flip-flops or thongs, which I got for around $1 at Kmart. And that's really it. Even though this is probably a tenth of my shoe collection, these are the only shoes I wear. The rest are more formal shoes or shoes reserved for special occasions. And just because of the circumstances of the past year, I just haven't found the opportunity to wear them. Item number 5 that I no longer want to buy is a car. I'm not sure if this is a Filipino thing, but everyone growing up was obsessed with getting a car. I think it was meant to be like a rite of passage or a sign that you've made it when you were able to purchase a car. I was able to purchase my first car in 2017. It is a Honda Jazz from 2005. We bought it when it had around 255,000 kilometers on it, and we only paid $2,500. Just thinking that, hey, this could be a good first car for us, we'll change it once it breaks. The cool thing is that it's really held up. I've been waiting for it to break down so we could start looking for a new car, but it just hasn't done so yet. So we've put around 10,000 kilometers over the past 3 years, I think. And we don't really drive much. We just usually use it for groceries, for the occasional pickup, drop off each other to work. And it does everything that I want it to do. It's manual transmission, so it's meant to last a lot longer. I've only had one major repair to it, and my major, it was like an $800 job, and I think it was related to the brakes. But since I've done that, it's been running so well, I'm not sure if we'll actually need a new car anytime soon. And it's just been great value for us. Which is really funny because back when I was in college or when I was starting my first few jobs, I was always looking to buy a really nice car. But now that we have this car and it does everything that we want it to do, that desire to purchase something new has just sort of disappeared. And really with all of these items, I think two things have helped me really filter out the desire to purchase them. One is just the acknowledgement that not all of these things actually add a lot of incremental value to your life. I think with all of these items, I have just enough where anything more than this won't really make me any happier. Now, I'm not really a full-on minimalist where I just want to reduce the number of items I have for the sake of it, or I want to meet like a number of items target. I'm not that type of minimalist. I do think that if an item is incredibly inefficient, that it's causing you stress, then you probably want to upgrade from it. I don't hold on to inefficient, poor quality things just for the sake of minimalism. I think that misses the point. The second filter I have before making a purchase is, am I just purchasing this to impress other people, or is it really for me? And I feel like a lot of the clothing or shoes related purchases I've made in the past have been more on that side, because I think with clothing and shoes, I realized deep down inside that I wasn't really purchasing them to make myself happy. It was more for me to look good in front of other people. And once I stopped caring about what other people thought, then that desire to look fancier, get the latest shoes, get the latest clothes, sort of disappeared. So yeah, those are the 5 things that I have stopped wanting to buy. If you like this video, please leave it a like below and let me know down in the comments if you have experienced something similar where over time you've just stopped wanting things just because maybe you've gotten a bit older or you have a different outlook in life now. If you haven't checked out my flip phone video, check that out as well. This video and the flip phone video is part of a new series where I'm going to share how I've started just living a more simple life, especially as I've grown up a bit over the past few years. So if you want to see my next video on this series, subscribe down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now!